So in the first part of the Soul Stirring program, Soul Stirring curriculum, the first part of our journey, if you will, we're going to be in the first pillar, which is called living in the light. And living in the light has to do with both acknowledging and honoring the divine spark that's within us and answering the call or welcoming the call that we feel through a divine pull, a spiritual pull. I call them soulful tugs, right? So could you imagine like a little kid tugging at your shirt tail saying, hey, you know what about me? Pay attention to me, don't forget, and you feel that tug and you go, okay, yeah. And then it tugs a little bit more and you go, okay, well, am I going to do something with that tug, that pull? And so often we discount it, we neglect it, or we might notice it, we might pay attention to it, but we talk ourselves out of the idea of making whatever that tug might be an expression of part of our life. So when we refer to living in our truth and bringing that divine spark to life, it doesn't mean necessarily that we're going to change our career or our vocation. It may be that you absolutely love doing what you're doing professionally, whatever that is. It may be that you don't, but it might really be that there's a part of you somewhere inside that is yearning, has a longing to come out and be expressed somehow in how you show up in the world. So again, it doesn't have to be what you do for a profession. It could be, I love to create and I love to get my hands in the dirt. So maybe it's gardening, maybe you've said, I know I want a garden, but you don't make room for it. You don't carve out some space in your life, some time in your life to get the planter boxes made, to get the dirt in there, to get the plants actually planted, to cultivate and nourish and harvest flowers or vegetables or whatever it is you want to garden. Maybe it's landscaping around your house. Maybe it's you've had a desire to want to be a painter, or at least try painting and see what that's like. Well, where have you gone with that? Or are you just talking about it? Are you answering that soulful tug and honoring the request it's making of you? Or are you choosing to neglect it and ignore it in so many respects? Living in the light, is one part of it is going to be honoring and listening to those soulful tugs that maybe you're meant for a different career and you haven't taken any steps towards it. It may be I want to express something artistically or creatively that I haven't done. Maybe it's I want to be a writer. What are you writing? We need to be able to acknowledge these tugs at our shirt tail, at the soul tail, if you will, of our life, and say, yeah, let's pay attention to that. Let's get curious and find out what's there. What calling if I not answered and that I need to. I'll tell you a quick story. I was working as a full-time paid life coach for a company called Mosaic Life Care. And they had this amazing facility up in the Northland near Liberty, Missouri. And I was taking my son through it and walking him through the different spaces and everything. And I said, hey, Gary, that's my son's name. I said, Gary, check out this little vestibule area that they've got. They've got these great couches and these beautiful, amazing purple drapes that you can close and have some privacy with the clients I was talking to. And so he said, well, those are cool, Dad, but you know what? What you really need to do is you need to open up at the drapes and let people see you. And I thought, wow, that, for a little kid telling me something like, you got to pull the drapes open and let that light, let that gift of this work come to life, because it was incubating even then. And he knew it, and I told him about it. But he said, Dad, you got to pull these drapes open and be seen, right? So, a soulful tug of mine that I am honoring, that I am answering the call to, is this very work. What's yours? What's tugging at your soul? What's calling forth more of you to show up in the world? My invitation is bring it in spades, bring it alive.